Hey everybody, Captain Joe here again with Help Heal Veterans. Welcome again to Creativity Heals here at Namta, where we talk about how creativity can help with the healing process, support wellness, and build resiliency. Once again, we got another thought leader and somebody I think you guys can be really stoked to meet, Jeff Bernfeld from Abroli.
Yes.
And talking a little bit about their company, but also sharing insights on his story and what he's seen and how creativity can help with the healing process. So Jeff, thanks for taking some time, sir.
Sure.
And you tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm in my former life, about 3 years ago or so, I've been a litigation lawyer for about 35 years before that. I did a lot of litigation. Some of it would touch on these kind of issues. Both of my children, although very high functioning, are on the spectrum. So for the past 18, 19 years, I've been learning about spectrum-related things, anxiety. They don't have PTSD. I actually do from some childhood stuff. So anxiety, ADHD, and some of the other issues that come along with being on the spectrum. Putting aside the superpowers you get, you also have some things that are a little bit more difficult. I've spent a lot of time researching it and working with therapists with my kids, and my son's going to graduate next year from Tulane in chemistry, and my daughter is starting college next year at Hampshire College. And I've learned a great deal about the process of helping not only bring them along in terms of addressing their issues, but the types of things that will help somebody who's suffering from anxiety or PTSD or anything else that's overwhelming, or where you have the intrusive thoughts that you have trouble stopping, or you're inventing anxiety things that aren't going to actually happen, but they're happening inside of you. So my son discovered ceramics, and for him, when he sits down at the wheel and is doing a ceramic bowl or a vase, all of the stuff goes away and he can focus and concentrate. My daughter has done the same thing with creative writing. She likes horror stories.
Right.
We have come out with products that are not just good for people who like painting and paint by numbers. We came out with some complex paint by numbers. It's for adults on a wood canvas. Let me open it up. And the idea here is that it is complicated enough that it requires concentration, but not so hard that it is frustrating and upsets people.
Right.
So this is the kind of thing that you can't get done in 15 minutes. You could spend a week or more working on it. And what we've been told is that, I don't know if you can see the level of the concentration, but again, this is not for little kids.
Yeah.
And again, the concentration helps. And we're exploring different aspects of art therapy and different aspects of how to help people cope.
Right.
You don't have to be on the spectrum. You don't have to be in the military and fought. We all have some level of anxiety, and some of us have more than others. I sat down with someone who's studying to become a Buddhist chaplain in hospitals to work with families that are grieving, and she loved this. And what she said was, this kind of thing and the other craft kits that you guys are putting together and handing out, it draws people in.
Yeah.
And it helps to cope. It gives them, here's what she said, it gives them a break during the day that they only otherwise get while sleeping. So you can be awake and you can spend 15 minutes, an hour, however long it takes for these sorts of things. It requires concentration. And if you're concentrating, the other stuff isn't intruding as much. I personally use audiobooks sometimes when I'm driving and I'm ruminating in the car. So that's where we are trying to go at Abroli.
Right.
We are also obviously doing wholesale to retail and art products and stuff for kids. But for me, I'm trying to develop the art therapy end. I'm partnering with a college that has a lot of neurodivergent kids, and we're going to try to put together a club that these kids can come up with a product that will help them, for neurodivergence, by neurodivergence. And we're just trying to explore that end of it, and it's really important. My belief is that, everyone says it's so much more prevalent now. It's not. Back then it was shell shock. Now it's PTSD, and look, this person has anxiety, and I think we're just looking at it all differently. I don't see that there is. I don't believe that there's a higher incidence. I believe that we're just more focused on it now, and groups like you guys and products like the ones you guys are doing and the ones we're trying to do, it's more important than people think, and it has more effect than people think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I really love from your company, from company standpoint, obviously you guys are businessmen. You're in there to do business, but to have something that's part of your culture where first, how can I help somebody? And what I love about your products there too, just a quick aside, is that part of the healing process is you're being proud of what you've made. And putting something on a piece of wood like that is different. That texture is like, I'm proud to hang this up, which gives you that sense of improved self-esteem.
My wife did 2 of them. They're both hanging up. They don't look like they were paint by number thing. They look like she actually did, a nice painting on there. And yes, the point you made is excellent. It's not only giving them a break, it's giving them a sense of accomplishment. And if you're talking about veterans, it's a sense of accomplishment that doesn't include shooting a gun or violence or whatever they experienced traumatically that gave them the PTSD.
So why do you think this being creative helps? I mean, you touched on it a little bit when you talk about your own personal stories, but what is about creativity that is helping with the healing process or building resiliency? I'm
not a neuroscientist, but as I understand it, it's a different part of the brain. And when we only exercise certain parts of the brain, those parts of the brain become dominant. If you exercise this creative part of the brain, and I'm going to start saying some words, there's the amygdala and the hippocampus. And for all of you neuroscientists and therapists out there, I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but as I understand it, using your creativity and focusing that way triggers those 2 areas to focus more on this rather than the intrusive thoughts. And there's a bunch of other things, the eye movements and stuff like that, where you rethink things, but this works like that. It moves, here's what my therapist said. It moves the memories from the hippocampus or amygdala to the frontal lobe so that you can reprocess. So that, as I understand it, ex-lawyer, not ex-doctor, but as I understand it, that's part of the neuroscientific reason why it works. The other thing is everybody benefits from being creative and developing that part of the brain. It helps critical thinking. If you're doing music, it helps math. All of it helps you and is a benefit. Everybody needs some art in their life, and the art is helpful. It's not just recreation. It's an important part of our mental health in the same way that doing exercise is an important part of your physical health and things like that. You've got to exercise those parts of your brain, and you got to focus, especially if you have intrusive thoughts and things like that, on the parts of your brain that don't care about the intrusive thoughts. I understand it triggers the vagus nerve in some way. I'm not sure exactly how. I know singing does and things like that, but that's why I think it works.
That's awesome. So part of what we see a lot, obviously you're a big guy, I'm a big guy. Guys, that's touchy-feely. I'm not doing it. Or, for example, kids. Sometimes kids are like, I can't do it because I'm not good enough, or this is ugly, or somebody's gonna make fun of me. Sometimes that when you talk about creativity, that bar can be perceived as pretty high. So what would you say to people who are thinking about making this journey, but maybe a little cautious? Well,
if you're talking about the paint by number product, you don't have to be that great an artist. It's guiding you, and you'll probably learn while you're doing it techniques and that work for you, and then maybe you can move on to your own thing. But the thing about art is, in my view, now I hate how television has turned art into a competition. I don't want to see two people singing and say that one's better than this one. I want to see two people singing and say, wow, they're great.
Right.
For me, I started playing guitar late, and I learned a particular type of guitar, slide guitar, like in the Allman Brothers. That allowed me to hang and play with musicians that were way over my head because none of them played slide guitar. So the great thing from my point of view is you're going to get better. You're going to improve. Nobody became an expert the first day. And if they're military people, I got to believe that that mindset has been hammered into them. You know, they didn't become a four-star general on day one of basic training. So if you don't feel you're good enough, it's even more of a reason to go do it. And not feeling I'm good enough is a big part of all of these things.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome, the little voice in your head that says, you can't do that.
Right.
That person doesn't like you. You're this, you're that. The only thing you can do with that is to press through it. My son, I don't want to be that parent, but he's brilliant. Smartest person I've ever met. You know, in his freshman year of high school, he had the highest GPA of every freshman. Before he learned that, he was looking at every other student saying, oh, that one's better than me at this, that one's better than me at that. When people told him how smart he was and how good he was, inside, he cringed because he didn't believe it. But then we told him things like achieving that GPA, you know, when he got into Tulane, when he started working at a lab in high school, at a college. Each accomplishment fights the imposter syndrome. And what I've always told him, and I was a lawyer, I said, look at the evidence. Is someone who's not good enough at the top of their class? Did you fool all the teachers?
Right.
Did you fool everybody else? Of course not. You're fooling yourself by telling you it's not true. And we all have that. Inside me, everything I do, including right now, I'm being told, you know, who the hell are you to be doing this? Nobody believes you and all that. But that's how we feel. And accomplishment fights that.
It does. That's great advice. So is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to share in general? I mean, your company's awesome. I love the culture. I love the product that you're making.
Thank you.
For somebody who's looking for something that can help the people that we serve,
right.
I mean, that's awesome. I
Well,
love the product. But
I will tell you, I founded, along with my son, a charity called Philanthropups. We do a kind of wide look in terms of, you know, we try to have dogs trained to go together with people who need service dogs. We try to simply help people in this sort of situation. Philanthropups raised money to buy over 5,000 of these that we're donating. If you see the website, feel free to donate. In fact, I was talking about this stuff at the hotel last night. Some guy walked up, handed me $40 and said, buy 4 kits for the veterans. I'm a veteran and my daughter has anxiety.
Yeah.
So everybody, I believe, touches this. And the idea is, you know, if someone had a broken leg, you wouldn't yell at them to get off the couch and run a marathon. If someone is depressed and paralyzed and sitting on the couch, it's just as hard. So open your hearts, have compassion, and understand that everybody has their own stuff. You've got, whoever I'm talking to, you've got your stuff. It's different than what I have. And we should all be open to the types of things that help each other.
Awesome. Great final words. And just
Thank you.
It really goes to the point, hey, creativity does heal.
It does.
Thanks for your time, Jeff. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for your company for all you do. And what's the website for your philanthropy?
We're in the middle of setting it up,
Okay.
but there's a GoFundMe page.
Awesome.
Philanthropups.
Awesome. Great.
And we'll take it from there. Thank you so
Thanks
much,
so much.
for letting us work with you
Thank
and all
you.
that.
And thank you for watching Creativity Heals. Talk to you next time.